Humans of the cardboard, welcome back to Just Nuts, guys. Today we need to go a little bit more in depth on the brand new search card Bonfire to the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! We only have a handful of what we call like full-on rotas, like search any monster in an entire monster type, right? You've got Reinforcement of the Army itself, Fossil Dig, Sign It Mining. I think I'm missing something there, but I can't remember what it is off the top of my head. But as you can tell, there's only 4 or 5 examples of that in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! As is, but now we add Bonfire to that pool. This card adds any level 4 or lower Pyro monster from your deck to your hand. Plain and simple. I'm happy it's a hard once per turn, but other than that, it's pretty dang generic. Now, luckily, Pyro is maybe the single least developed monster type in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Aside from like Divine Beast and like archetype, like monster types that aren't even real monster types. And so there's a handful of targets that do matter, but there's not a ton. And so we'll go through them today, all the ones that I thought were at least worth mentioning with this card, going down into the future. So if you're interested in this card, this will give you a good idea of where it's at this moment in time. But also it's now just a card that every time a new Pyro card comes out, level 4 or lower, you got to keep this card in the top of your mind that card's, you can essentially just play 3 more copies of it. So let's get into the cards that matter the most. Starting off here, we have to start with the only actual Pyro type archetype that actually matters in Yu-Gi-Oh! After their new support, they're the only Pyro deck that now, before their support, that they didn't matter anyway, but now they're the only one that matters. It's Volcanics. They have a handful of good targets. Trooper's one of their new normal summons. 1 card play starter. Very good. Makes sense, right? Volcanic Rocket, same exact thing. 1 card play starter. They have 2 different normal summons in their deck. That works. From there, you move to their cards that you don't always want to see in hand, but, if you already have the normal summons, then you don't really need to get another normal summon, so sometimes just getting one of these to hand, if you weren't going to be able to get, like, all of them sent, can still be really good. So, you have the new Rimfire, very good card. Shell, you want to get that in rotation, because it's going to get you a bunch of free cards to hand. And Scattershot as well. Depends on the build you play, if you even played this or not, but it is another search target that you can load up as long as you're going to have, access to like the is it Tri-Blaze Accelerator? Whatever, the trap one that lets you discard on your opponent's turn. That's what this one matters for. But yeah, some cool targets there. From there, you move to really I went through like all the Laval cards. They all stink, man. Lavals are terrible. They need 10 support cards. They just need a whole new archetype, to be honest. I guess they have like some extra monsters that aren't the worst things in the world, but their main deck cards are poop, man. They're so bad. Archer, it's a card that came out a couple years ago. It's not the worst card in the world. It gives you an additional normal summon for a Laval, and you can destroy your own fire monster you control to summon this guy back, and then banish him when it leaves the field. Yada, yada, yada. I guess if you have a deck like other monsters in the archetype that want to be destroyed, that works, but whatever. Not huge. Neo Flameveil Lady. This is a generically good card. Lets you just like send a fire monster from hand to grave to just like DD Crow a card from your opponent's grave. That's just a quick effect during either player's turn. That's pretty good. This card's just generically decent. It has another effect, too, to get, like, a Foolish Burial effect. So, yeah, very interesting card, for sure. But, yeah, she's pretty cool. Argenix Magma. This isn't even really a full-on archetype, but I figure it's worth mentioning. It is a Stratos. On normal, it adds a level 2 Argenix from deck to hand. Cool. Maybe if they ever give this deck, like, an insane Link 1, it could be something. Incantation Candle. This is one of the more relevant ones, I guess, even though the incantations, you could argue, are already power crept by other better generic ritual engines, but sure, this makes them a little more accessible. Prankins Lampseas. This one could matter if the cat Meow Mew ever comes off the ban list. This is another consistency card. Not that they necessarily need it, but this is a more relevant one as far as competitively speaking, so that's kind of cool. Nemesis Flag. This is an interesting one. It is somewhat of a generic card. It can search any Nemesis monster from deck to hand as well. So search this, get a search from there. It's a plus. I'm not ragging on it. Not terrible. From there, we have Spiritual Beast Apelio. This is the only Ritual Beast card that this card can search. It's not one of the ones you actually want to open normally, so I don't consider it to be very good, but it's there. Barrier Statue of the Inferno. This is technically a rota for a stun deck that, if the meta is not based around fire decks at all, go ahead and grab this guy and set a bunch of back row behind him. That can win some duels for sure. Royal Firestorm Guards. If this card is normal summoned, you can target 4 Pyro monsters in your graveyard, shuffle them into the deck, then draw 2 cards. Not the worst thing in the world. Takes a bit of setup, but man, if you get there, we're just drawing 2. That's not terrible. This guy, I love this guy. This guy says if he's added from deck to hand, or maybe it's just added to hand, period, he special summons himself. He's a level 4 tuner too, so that's kind of cool. And he has an effect that, like, if a monster is sent to the graveyard while you control him, he can increase or decrease his own level by 1. I think that's not even a hard once per turn, so he can potentially, like, get himself to 6 or get himself to 2, I think. So cool card. Very cool extender card for sure. Inferno. Banish a fire monster from grave to special it. If it kills a monster by battle, inflict 15 to your opponent. Old classic card, but not a terrible, just like simple fire extender for certain fire decks that could come up. Spirit of Flame, same thing. Banish a fire monster from grave. He gains 300 attack during your battle phase. Woo! 2K beater. Let's go. I think the last card we have here is Inari Fire. One of the worst of the extenders we're looking at here today, but it is an extender. If you control a spellcaster monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. Cool. And on the next standby phase, after this card on the field was destroyed by card effect and sent to grave, you can special summon it. So it floats. It's an extender for a spellcaster deck, but the problem there is, like, are you really going to play a search card to search this in a spellcaster deck where this is probably just the only search target in your deck? I don't know about all that. But yeah. All in all, though, there's a couple targets. I mean, it's nothing crazy, but there's a couple good things. I think the ones of note more than anything are, you'd probably play Inferno over Spirit of Flames in most scenarios, I guess. But yeah, so Inferno's an interesting little extender. This guy's just a better extender, but he is a little more bricky. Drawing Inferno is not terrible. Drawing him means he doesn't extend anymore for you, so that's awkward. But he may be a little bit better to search. No, Barrier Statue is a little more interesting for sure. Nemesis Flag is an interesting one. I think Neo Flamvell Lady. If Lavals get a huge wave of support, maybe. And then other than that, it's the Volcanic. So, handful of stuff, but it's like I said at the beginning of the video, it's one of those cards now where every single... So we've done this for Dinos. We've done this for Warriors. Done this for whatever. Cyber Stacks. Anytime anything comes out in their monster type, you have to sit back and go, oh, wait, we have 3 more copies of that. This new monster we can play 6 of. So it helps. So we'll keep that in mind as anything comes out down the line. And we'll have to see where it goes. It may also be alluding to a new Pyro deck down the line, May pair it with other stuff. That would make a lot of sense. I mean, it's already pairing with the new Volcanic support. That's pretty decent. But other than that, not a ton. But we'll see. Very cool card. Let me know your thoughts down below, what your favorite target is here. I don't think I missed anything because this monster type is so small. If you think I missed something, though, go ahead and throw it in the comment section down below if you think it's worth noting. But I am out of here for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. As always, subscribe to the channel for more videos like this on new cards and just fun discussion topics. But I'm out of here for tonight. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.